Hey, good morning. We're back at it. This is a really echoey room, at least to my hearing. We're actually done priming everything and we're done painting ceilings. So what we're gonna do is, in preparation for Monday, when we're gonna come back with a couple guys and install flooring and start doing trim and basically do all of the finish work in this house next week. We've got a drywall sander. I love these circular drywall sanders because when they're on the wall, they don't tend to flip over as easily as a square or rectangular sander. So I'm actually working with, I think, a 120 grit sandpaper, and we're gonna sand all of the walls that we've already primed. That's gonna give us an opportunity to see any imperfections in the drywall and mark those for touch-up. Just put a little pencil mark on it, not too deep. And then we're gonna blow this whole thing out, sand the floors to get any drywall mud off the floors that's stuck, or mud, and then mop all the floors, scrape them, mop them, do everything. And this is the boring part of this job, but the detail of sanding the walls between primer and paint just yields a much nicer product. And sanding the floors, we're just sanding to scrape small particulates off the floor, not for anything more than that. Sanding the floors, scraping them, and mopping them, and then blowing the whole thing out, getting all the dust out of here, is gonna help our floor. Our floor is actually a pressure-sensitive flooring, and it's gonna adhere to the floor. It's a commercial grade. It's like an LVT, luxury vinyl tile, but it is commercial grade and requires to glue it down. So I'm gonna get started on this and fast forward probably through the process and see if we can't get this room cleaned up on with it. Now, when I'm sanding this, I don't want my sander to touch the top of the ceiling, but whenever I'm in the corner, I let this roller just roll out. And I'm really not doing a whole lot to this. I'm just hitting all the top edges, trying to make sure that I don't end up with nubs or little fuzzy spots or just inconsistencies in the finish. Doesn't take much, but like here's one that just, I don't know, a little speck of paint that was a little thick or something. And I'll also be able to see any place where the drywaller had inconsistencies in his finish. And that's it, that's one wall. One wall's done, and I'm gonna keep going. Well, that's not true. That wasn't a whole wall, that was just to this section of wall. All right, that was one wall. So timer on my video says that I've been at it for 4 minutes, including the explanation. So probably 2 minutes on that wall. Why am I timing it? Just to kind of get an idea. This stuff doesn't take very long, and this one detail can make a huge difference in the finish on your paint. A lot of times it seems like when you see somebody who kind of DIYs their own project, I don't honestly think that people realize the detail that professionals put into what they do. And so when you see a DIY and you can immediately pick it up with your eye, a lot of times it's not that the person wasn't capable of doing a nicer job. They may have just not realized the extra little steps that a professional will do to get their project looking good. And that kind of is a large part of the difference. There's a lot of little monotonous, I mean, this was a 10-minute job to sand that and blow it off, and it's going to make a world of difference in the paint job. Check. Getting dust out of a project is like a never-ending process. And vacuuming it up does help, but it is also a never-ending process. All right, one mopping done. I'll do it again as soon as this dries, and hopefully this will be ready for flooring on Monday. Catch you later.